Compared to other countries of the world, air transportation in Nigeria is expensive. Is there anything government is doing to ensure that it becomes more affordable? Two, in the past, some airports in Nigeria were concessioned but later reversed. Is the Buhari administration doing something to ensure that this concessioning that it's doing now will not be reversed by administrations that might succeed it? And then lastly, I would like to also know whether the weather equipment the ministry is using is doing that in collaboration with the National Space Research and Development Agency, just for clarity. Thank you, sir.
You said air transportation is expensive. What are we doing to reduce the cost of air transportation? Well, happily, like I said, Nigeria is a population of 200 million people, and all of them very traveling people. We love to travel. We travel even for nothing, really, in this country. I told you before that when in school, we collect our birthday allowances and we buy ticket and we go to London. We're doing nothing there. We land and say, take me to Trafalgar Square. That's all we know. So Nigerians are highly mobile, some for good reasons, some for trading, some for friends and family, hospitals, schools, everything. So what we are doing is, first and foremost, to develop, as we've been developing, the infrastructure that will make civil aviation to function. And part of the infrastructure includes also the airline, to ensure that we put the right size, right kind of airline, private sector led, to be able to deliver the service. And once that is done, it will increase the availability of the service. And because there is more supply, it will help in bringing down price. Recently, we've seen many airlines coming up. There has never been a time when the industry has grown. From the time President Muhammadu Buhari came into power in 2015, aviation grew to become the second fastest growing sector of the economy in 2018 from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. And in 2019, we became the fastest growing sector of the economy. The passenger numbers were driven from 8 million to 80 million in those 5 years. So the more you fly, the more the availability of those airlines to give the service, the cheaper the tickets become. So what we are doing is to try to liberalize and remove all of the hindrances and lets in the provision of civil aviation service to drive down the price. Recently, an airline launched and started selling tickets at 16,000 naira. I received complaints where a certain airline will charge you 100,000 naira to Kano because of monopoly, because of the absence of people that can provide the service. So all these things that we're doing, better runways, better airports, better control, availability of avgas, this and that, everything that we're doing is geared towards giving the infrastructure that we need for the industry to grow, and once it grows, it will drive price down. In the time when they were doing all those privatization and selling of government properties, there was no institutional framework. Today, the ICRC, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, that has the sole responsibility of concessions wherever they are in accordance with the law. So everything that you will do, it is in accordance with the law and law of the land. So you cannot do them and reverse them. I'm giving the assurance nothing will happen to it because it's a contract and we're contractually obligated. Those that happened before ICRC had happened and there's no law backing them. And those are outright sales. That's why when we know we are going for PPP projects, the day that I became minister, I applied to ICRC to send a staff to my office who is competent enough to guide us on the way these things are being done according to the law. That's why they've taken almost forever to achieve, because we are being very diligent about it. And they posted Mustafa Junaid, who is seated there, to my office, who is an expert and it's been guiding us and be flowing step by step on those concessions. So the concessions will be in accordance with the law, and they will be for the better of our country. And whether we are in association with NASRDA, with NIMET, well, perhaps every agency of government has a relationship with another agency. But purely all of the works that we are doing are domiciled and have the capacity and competency within NIMET itself. If there's anything that we will associate with NADA, we do. We collaborate with all MDAs, and even those that you don't assume that will have anything to do with civil aviation. We do collaboration between us and agencies. But everything, all the competencies that we do need, and the equipment and the personnel and the money and the manpower, we have it domiciled in NIMET, and we're doing that. Like I said, we are cascading it down to your own farmlands. Now we're so far in the local governments.